guys, Kiko here. So back in July 2021 at the John Petrucci Guitar Camp, Tosin Abasi and I, we were chatting just before my master class with my guitar and quad cortex connected to the PA. And I thought the conversation was pretty cool. So I decided to put my phone on top of a chair and film the whole thing. So here it is for you. And then now you know how, chill guitar players, what they do, what they talk about in between master classes and concerts. So just feel like you were there with your phone filming us, all right? So enjoy. So it's not everyone. Okay, play that thing. Now it's gonna,
this little thing?
Yeah, this is like amazing.
Thanks, man.
So the harmony, because I think music with no great harmony is not fun.
Yeah.
And you have such a sense of harmony. So do you think it's a necessity that you need to have those sounds? Because some musicians or composers they don't go that far, right? They stay there in the 1-4-5 kind of thing. And then I need to have this like a special chord somewhere. And then change the key, and then of course you're like this too. So where does this come from?
Man, that's a really good question.
Was not listening to rock, so
exactly. I think that's the biggest thing because a lot of genres have rules, and if you're like a big, Judas Priest fan or something, you're not going to hear like a seventh chord. What I mean? And so sometimes you have to look outside of the genre you love playing if you want to start bringing in things that you don't hear. So I think learning some jazz.
What you just played, would you relate to any composer, any music that you listen? What do you see when you play that?
I see.
Tell me what do you?
Okay, I see the technique first, right? Because the way I'm making the notes is weird. I'm going like, I'm hammering most of them, and I'm picking. I'm not even using.
Yeah, but you chose. This is like a G sharp minor major seventh, and then you have the E.
The E,
which is like a flat sixth.
Well, that's changed.
Is it?
Yeah, so
it's a flat sixth,
so that would be so almost
or like a augmented fifth.
Yes, I love the augmented sound.
You see, because why you decided to be in the 11th fret and not in the 7th fret, and then it would sound the open string would be the root. So you chose like a weird place to start because you need that sound, the augmented fifth, the major seventh in a minor chord.
Yes.
Am I correct?
You're correct.
Yeah.
And not only that, because I'm using an open string, it starts to. So that open string is only going to work with some chords. So it's a pedal tone that limits the chords I can choose, but it's also.
You think so? Because you chose like one of the
worst. One of the worst intervals.
So actually, the first chord shows that you can do anything.
You can.
Right?
You can.
You see?
Yeah. But none of this stuff we're not pulling from metal or rock at this point.
So what? So okay, technique you see first.
Yeah. So in that case, I'm doing this sort of. But once again, there's a sharp 5. It's that same E. So I like tension, and I like things like sharp 11s, sharp 5s, like these colorful intervals. So technique usually comes first because I'm like always thinking of some weird way of producing notes. And then like you said, like my desire for the harmony to be interesting too. Because I remember getting into the shred guys and it was like everyone was, with guitar, it's like minor scale or pentatonics, and then I discovered Ingbe, and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool scale. And I love Ingbe, but it's like every song is
It's diminished and resolving, yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, learning some classical. We were talking about Villa-Lobos earlier.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have stuff like, I think this is him. Yeah, I think that's the Villa-Lobos tune. And I'm like, your brain starts to expand when you hear a guitar composition that is really combining these intervals that you don't hear in metal and you don't hear in rock. And so it's like having this secret diet of like non-rock, non-metal, but then loving heavy music and then saying, can I get away with putting some of this stuff in there?
Yeah. So when you play that thing, what do you see? So after the technique?
After the technique, what do I see? I see like...
How do you feel?
Emotionally? I feel like...
I think music is about...
Feeling?
Like, feeling, right?
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
How I feel like...
I'm filming, so...
Okay, I gotta answer this question. I feel stimulated.
Okay.
Like a light bulb.
Cool.
Yeah, where I'm like... Because the direction of the notes is constantly changing, I'm descending a lot or doing these leaps of... You know... Where I'm kind of... the interval leaps are very long, but... I don't think I'm really voice leading in a really coherent way where I'm saying, oh, but I am attempting to give you a sense of the chord movement without only doing it in the bass. So sometimes the direction goes from the melody note to the lower note. And the whole thing is, I almost imagine a rotating object.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you see. That's
yeah.
It could be, I would say, raindrops.
Yeah.
You know, I would
because
see
the sound. Yeah. Raindrops.
Raindrops, the name of the song. Would you relate to Cecil Taylor?
I don't know him. Guitar player?
I don't like him.
What is it?
He's a free jazz pianist from the 60s.
Oh, damn. So when you say free jazz, I'm kind of not that versed, but is that essentially it's not atonal comp? Is it free jazz meaning there's no form or?
Kind of somehow, no, it would be even
more out.
More free.
Right.
More going, but that, or Schoenberg, Schoenberg?
Yes.
So that would be kind of my relation to
I could
in
see
the guitar,
Yeah.
And then Cecil Taylor was the last, I would say, because jazz, you have the bebop and the cool jazz, and then expanding, what else now? So atonal, and then kind of those things, those serial music,
yes.
Kind of a sequence of events
that never really repeats.
Repeats and stuff like that. And then you have the free jazz or a Cecil Taylor or the serial music or Schoenberg, which is before. Cecil Taylor is decades later. And then suddenly maybe that was too much.
It comes back to earth a little bit,
And then what happens, in that field of the jazz, then they started, harmony we expanded to the place there is no...
It's aharmonic now.
Aharmonic. And then it started let's go to other countries to see what they're doing. And then you have the fusion going on, right?
Yeah.
The weather report, and then and then you have the Wayne Shorter going to Brazil, or as we were talking about, and Pat Metheny and the Chico Rea with the Return to Forever. That's the 70s, experimenting other cultures. And then actually in the classical music that happened too, 100 years before, bringing elements from other cultures, because it's not about. So after the 12 notes, how you're gonna expand, you're already did the whole thing. So let me see how the Turkish people use. Let me see how the French, let me see how the Brazilians they do use those notes, and then you start bringing the cultures because you have the rhythms, you have the aesthetics, and you have
sometimes different instruments and sounds.
Different instruments and sounds, and then the combination of that. But this is very. I think when it's like Cecil Taylor kind of thing.
I could see that.
I will show you him. Yeah.
You should. I mean, there's more like.
But it's a piano, right? Of course. So
yeah.
You're kind of treating it like a piano.
Yeah, you know, when you're producing notes
like this, exactly.
You're not. Yeah, it's similar to this, right? And I started to just realize, like I said, like there's guys like you who like if you want to pick all the notes, you have the technique to do it. And then I tried that for so long. Not only would it be impossible, I don't think you would try to do it with a pick because mechanically you'd probably do something else.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm, you know, now I'm targeting intervals that don't make sense to really pick.
Yeah.
But you can do stuff like,
like a beautiful.
Yeah, so this is like a major sound. But I do a lot of things. We were talking about harmony earlier. Like before I learned how like you have to really change the chords in a key, I would just kind of take one chord and move it around. And it gets it's almost like the keys are changing or something. So even if you took like this. So I took that same sort of C, but I went up a minor third, you know? So that doesn't make sense in the key. So I'm doing that same voicing up here, and you could do like. So I'm just doing, but always keeping that open E as like a pedal tone. But I'm not doing like the actual chords that would, you know, adapt to a key. I'm just using the same shapes.
Like thinking modally, right?
Thinking modally, and then honestly, like I'll literally be doing something like that, and then move my hands intuitively. Maybe it's a major third jump, same chord. And then I'll be like, whoa, that sounds cool. And so a lot of it's like happy accidents, you know? So in a weird way, it's kind of good that I don't like have complete fluency on the fingerboard because I make choices that I don't, if I understand, I would say maybe that's a mistake or maybe that.
But besides rock, you're like playing video games, you're watching movies.
Right?
So the songs from the soundtracks, they have all that. Right? So somehow you have this music inside you already. And then it's not a happy accident. It's not like, oh, I know this.
It's some subconscious thing.
I know this because the moving in minor thirds is just modern classical music.
It's okay.
It's like, you know, so it's not, you don't find that like the you know, like the major progression as you did. This is like old 400 years old, you know. But moving in minor thirds, what they call the medians. That's
like a modern classical thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But I like what you said about pulling from non-music because I realized I really like science fiction.
Okay.
So some of these tonalities,
I see.
They feel like futuristic or something.
But probably feels futuristic. I will try to guess here, right? Because the modern composers was, you know, maybe like the Russians, Germans. They came to the U.S. and they're kind of influencing all the sounds, the music for the movies.
Right.
And then you have this in the music of the movies, like let's say Star Wars. Like it's the planets from Gustav Holst. Like that, just like a copy and paste, basically.
Really?
Yeah. And then
if you're gonna choose one song for Star Wars, you're gonna choose the
and
planets.
then you have Star Wars, and then you have those modern sounds as a futuristic feeling because of the Star Wars and all the you know movies that came that need that sound.
Yeah.
With the medians.
Okay.
You know, it's plain and simple. Like. You know, that that sound.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
Right? Just playing minor.
Yeah.
Right? Something kind of a...
That's my shit.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
it's always curious to understand. So you probably heard this, like, I love this. And then now everything you play needs to have that.
A little...
It has to, right?
that sort of flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
So, would you play something like that? Or?
No.
No? Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I remember once doing a clinic with Alan Bosworth. And then he played this chord here. And it's like, oh no, I never, you know,
he's never played that chord.
He was so disgusted. It's like, oh no. Like, the face he did, like a normal
like major 7 chord.
And you know, that's like so Alan Bosworth, because also you have to create a sound, you have to, which I don't do myself. You know, I love the A major, D major as well as I love the medians kind of accounting sound. But sometimes to create your identity, you have to say no.
Yes.
Stuff. You know, I don't play the normal major 7th chord. I don't play the A major, D major.
Yeah.
Because to have your own sound, you have to. Okay, I don't play this.
That's an interesting way
or
of...
I don't play blues, you know?
Right,
You know,
which is kind of me as well. But you bring up a cool point, because a lot of people think of their sound as like, what do I do? And they don't always think about what don't I do.
Exactly, just like one of the most difficult things is to forget stuff or to ignore stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so you ignore a lot of stuff.
Well,
and then, you know, you ignore, I don't need to play blues. You know,
there's so many guys doing it.
I mean, it may be because it doesn't connect to you. I don't need to play blues or to have the 1-4-5. You don't need to play whatever, you know, some other stuff. So then you're in this place that I only play that, and then suddenly you have a sound.
Absolutely.
Right? And then you use so much that thing that suddenly you own the sound.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like yesterday I was doing the tapping.
Yeah,
I was showing to you, and then the guy's like, oh, this is so Animals leader. So, and then
you're like, I was doing this when Tosin was 10 years old.
Yeah, but not in the same way. But I was playing a thing that I recorded in 2000 something, you know. So
yeah.
So
I was playing like Pearl Jam.
But the thing is, like, once you do a lot something, you own.
Yeah, yeah. It becomes associated with you.
Yeah, totally. And of course, you took to another level as well, you know. So.
Actually, so the stuff you're doing, I think the level
like
is
the Stanley Jordan. For me, it was Stanley Jordan.
Yeah.
But also Stanley Jordan is not, I don't know, maybe he's playing.
He's less in, I don't know, yeah, it's like less, I'm not going to say less people know about him, but there was like a period where he was the reference, and now maybe someone else becomes the reference just because of.
But nobody's doing what he is.
No, he was fully committed to,
exactly,
you know.
Like,
and it's interesting because the guitar, it does, I mean, you were playing some stuff earlier and I was like, this is, like you said, it's not, you're not emulating the piano, but you're producing notes in the same way, and it allows you to create, you can have like flowing arpeggios and a melody at the same time. And that's very difficult if you're just playing traditional guitar.
So I was searching like, how can I use the Stanley Jordan technique just to have a different tone or different thing going on, instead of just like strumming or doing the, you know, the finger style kind of thing.
Exactly.
Which is very common for me to do as well. So I started doing the tapping because I was not able, or I didn't want to spend hours and hours like trying to be a Stanley Jordan, to have the independence and the whole thing and melody. I tried a little bit and I gave up. But then some little things stayed, you know. And then I always use the same. But you took to another level, which is amazing. And then you incorporating, I don't know, because back then I couldn't see the possibility of, maybe I didn't try enough, maybe the situations of the gear, maybe, because, and then you had to play those things live, and you have like a metal band, like, and
it doesn't cut.
It doesn't cut.
If it's clean or something.
Or it has to be the ballad that you do like intro with that. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe now, so you brought this into like full-on metal going on, and then it's possible to hear.
Yeah,
So,
you can get
know,
it to
like,
cut in the mix.
Right? I don't know if the technology as well, or the fact that we do a lot of stuff from home, then you can really mix in a way that people can hear.
I think that's
well.
it. Because if you're composing,
And you found a way to do it, and you have the courage to say no.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, having a good compressor pedal or something like that, and even things. Now I play the Fishman pickups, so they're active, so even in the pickup is some compression.
I see. Yeah.
And so, and like, you know, you're talking about writing in the rehearsal space. You have some drummer like playing super loud.
Exactly.
You're like, this isn't gonna work.
And then you need to have like a loud Marshall that then you don't have a great loud clean or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I remember trying to do the hybrid picking, the first album, '93. You know, like just a riff but with hybrid picking. And then the producer said, "No, this is not metal." You know, the producer is not metal. So. I don't hear the pick, you know, because of slider. You know, because the
lighter,
hybrid
yeah,
lighter
it didn't cut in the same
way.
Because
it's not.
I don't know what kind of picks you use.
No, I don't. This is too small.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you do like, you know, if you do, I'm doing like this.
Right.
Instead of like.
I mean, it's kind of metal.
Right. Or whatever you. So the producer would say, no, I need you.
Because he wants to hear it.
So that's that too, because you're recording analog, and then, you know.
You can't.
I don't know.
You actually bring up a good point. I realize a lot of the things I'm able to do is because I'm writing it alone with a laptop sometimes, where
the guitar can be louder than the drums. You know?
There's no drummer being like, and then also the fear, like, you know, now we have gear where you can make a preset for your clean that has compression and is like 5 dB boost, or so, it's as loud as your lead tone, you know. So when I go to tap, I'll boost my clean to cut in the mix. But you know, back in the day, if you have a 2 or 3 channel amp, like you're stuck with what's going to work in real time.
And a great amp for distortion
is
not necessarily the one for the clean. Then you get into the Eric Johnson thing, like I have a Fender and then a Marshall, and then, you know, you cannot.
You're an asshole at that point. You have too many amps.
Yeah, like Steve Morse had like different amps for that, or
Yeah.
Alan Holdsworth, he had like, and then it got too complicated, and you cannot fly, and you know.
Yeah, you won't be able to pull off your stuff if you don't.
Yeah,
bring all
no, you don't have a gig because.
I never thought of it like
you know,
that, but yeah.
To be able to play and make a living and have a band, you have to play with the equipment the promoter has in that city.
The backline,
you know,
yeah,
the backline,
yeah.
and they have what, a Marshall or a jazz chorus.
Yeah,
you know, like
figure
or
it
maybe a mezza boogie.
Yes.
You know, so different. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I actually
That's
never
that
really
too. You
considered
know, the technology helped to explore those things.
Which
again.
technology is supposed to do. It's supposed to allow us to manifest things with like less difficulty or do things we couldn't do before.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a good perspective on things like modelers now because it like does allow you to maybe throw in
just
sounds
like
and
this,
stuff that
different volumes, different compressors and amps. You know, have a Fender twin, and then suddenly
sounds great.
A diesel one.
Yeah,
But
you still use real amps when you record.
I did, yeah.
Your album, dude, I was gonna ask because you were performing last day 2 or whatever, and there was this section from your solo record. The palm mutes were like.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, what amp is that?
It was the AV8.
Oh, really?
AV8.
Did you do like a bunch of exploration, or were you just like
no,
this?
EV8 and like 3-4 different Wagners.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's a layered tone.
No. I mean, like the
Throughout.
we're experimenting throughout the
Okay.
songs and the solos. You know, the Shiva, all the like 3-4 different Wagners, and then the EVH basically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like.
For the rhythms was more the EVH and the solos the Wagner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you reamp or so like when you're looking for a tone, do you like to play through the amp?
Now I'm playing through the amp.
Okay, you play through. Yeah. You don't like record it and then later start.
No, the way it could be true, but we
prefer to connect with the actual amp.
connect. Yeah, found the sound. Okay, that's the sound for the solo, and then play recorded.
Interesting.
But of course, you have always the option to maybe reamp.
If it's like not working in the mix or something.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. That was the idea. Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
I love the harmony. I like all the technique. Because the metal dudes, they do that.
Do they?
Yeah, of course. But like simple.
Right.
That would be like simple, simple.
Yeah, but I've been showing people this thing. I think it's because you tap. Because to do the hammer on from nowhere, you're doing it like as if, you just hammer. But for a lot of guitar players, they can't just produce the notes with the left hand.
Yeah, that's the Stanley Jordan thing.
Yeah, see, Yeah.
And how to, right? So and the hammer on is very important, even if you pick to have a
strong. So that's like like with Holdsworth's legato. It's like that.
Yeah.
Each note is, as opposed to the pull-off thing.
Exactly. So it's cleaner.
So even doing that.
Right? So that's the song I told you.
Don't try that at home. Look, he's making it look easy, but sometimes well, the purity of the note you're getting.
Stuff like just a simple, just for the groove, like. As a layer, as a guitar layer.
Okay. Like the rhythm part.
Whatever, then the other guitar doing chords.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal that actually. Right. So for those rhythms, you're almost pulling from like drum sticking patterns, like rudiments and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a samba groove. That's hard. Or like, let me see if I can do like, or like the, that is pure. No groove. That's cool.
Even no values,
Crazy harmony. I like this basic stuff.
No, but it's cool. Because there's tensions and
I don't have to. I could change. Just trying to create something here, but The thing is to find the way to all the 6 strings together. That's why it sounds like a
Right. Stack.
yeah. It's hard. Right?
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, you get to sustain some intervals and
Yeah,
also,
exactly, yeah.
yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Man, it sounds so nice. Like there's warmth. Tapping usually sometimes is bright, but you're getting a really nice
Yeah,
warm.
this guitar helps a lot.
Yeah, dude, it sounds really good.
I have to try the pickups. You say, you know, right?
Yeah. I think you might like them.
So it's good for this kind of things, right?
Yeah, because it has a little bit of that active style lift, but it's not squashed like a normal active. It still has headroom. So that's why I like them.
And then today you learned the minus chord. The same thing, like as you said, like choose one chord and see what happens.
around.
Yeah. It's like this. I love this chord too, right?
Can't always use that chord.
Yeah. I don't know, it's hard. That's hard.
This is crazy. So hearing you play like this, you spend a lot of time. I feel like the people who know you from like the stage, they're not seeing this Kiko.
No.
So did you spend a lot of time like actually learning like diatonic harmony and classical and bossa and all this stuff, or because it's like you're so fluent with just moving the voicings and all this stuff, even the tone, it sounds like. It reminds me of a guy who only plays clean. You know what I mean? Like
The acoustic guitar is my friend.
nylon or
Yeah, the nylon is my friend.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
and then yeah, it's like trying to write songs. You know, do like that.
it's cool how much stepwise motion you're doing, because you always choose a note that is like, it's not the exact note I expect. It's like there's these curveballs, you know what I mean? And it's always a tension. It's always like a whoa, whether it's that sharp 5 or some sort of, you know.
The Brazilian music has a lot of this. You know, if you play like 2-5-1, would be like.
You keep that.
No, that's kind of a. Like pop like radio music would be. You know, like Stevie Wonder.
Okay, yeah.
Why not?
You think that's so funny? You call that pop?
Right?
Yeah.
The acoustic guitar kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Same note.
Like almost like tremolo or something. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Minus chord. Well, this is a good one for you. Next time you check a guitar, you check this, but then you do this.
Praise
You know the
that.
sound.
Okay.
It's like.
Yeah. So what was first for you when you're playing this style, or the rock thing, rock metal, or it's like
I
at
was
the
kind
same
of,
time?
at the same time, kind of discover, like enjoying the, you know.
It's for the girls that he learned this.
No. So my mother used to listen to those.
Like Bossa.
Those,
okay.
you know, those guys were the Brazilian heroes, you know.
It's such an amazing style of, I'm not going to call it pop music, but the fact that it was popular is really
Yeah, it's
awesome,
like kind
because
of,
there's so much going on.
Of course, you have the pop, you know, whatever.
Right.
You know, like a, you know, a bit like the country music here. You know. You know, simpler
More
stuff.
simple, yeah.
But you know, the radio music would be like. Right, and then the bridge.
You're not going to hear that on the radio.
But Stevie Wonder has those kind of.
Yeah, he's kind of one of these guys who could bring a lot of
Actually,
complex
this song
harmony.
here that I'm playing is a specific song. Stevie Wonder plays harmonica.
Oh, really?
There's always like an interchange. You know, he was like always around those Brazilian pop guys.
Yeah, they're all like hardcore composers and
Yeah,
like.
exactly. Even Lins, there was another guy that's like, yeah. You would be surprised. Yeah, we gotta go. You would be surprised with the, you know, the connection that happened in the 70s. You know,
I'm gonna get you to
into-
send me some names. I wrote down a few the other day. I need to hear some of this.
Yeah. Ginga. There's a guy. Yeah. So the Marcus Tardelli, that album, the Marcus Tardelli,
Uh-huh.
he's playing only the songs from Ginga. It's like
Oh.
the composer is amazing. And he has this thing of, like this. And then it goes like, and sing on top, you know.
Really?
Because it's all about acoustic guitar and singing.
Right.
It's not
But
about
normally
like,
when that's happening, you're not getting these chord voicings in this
or
type
forget the
of...
Ginga you have.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. Because the secret of success
Uh-huh.
is to be sophisticated and popular.
Yeah, normally those things are...
Yeah, that's the Jobim thing.
Yeah. Do you think because there was rhythm, there was groove to the harmony, that it helps for people to... Do you know what I mean?
No, it's the melody.
So do you read music?
A little bit.
Okay. So you're getting charged for this stuff and...
The chords and the melodies and kind of learn harmony analyzing those songs.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
so
not much the standards, but more those songs.
Well, this almost is going, standards, depending on how you're playing them. I mean, you have your chord progression, but I noticed with Bossa, there's so much transition between the chords. And
then here you have the right, the blues
the blues
culture stuff in Brazil was.
So the culture takes over.
Right? It's different than. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then Brazil's like.
I know that chord. Yeah, it's almost as if,
And the main difference, like the Brazilian and the jazz, would be the jazz is more, that's the way I see it, simpler in a way, believe it or not, because of more about improvisation.
Yeah, so you have a form.
So the melody would be this one is like the bebop had like complicated. Right, whatever. But something like. Okay, good. Now improvising, So it's like a simple thing. Like the Brazilian would be a descriptive things, like a long story, right? You see how long is the melody?
B section.
Never ends, like telling a story.
And then you solo over that?
And then you solo with all those changes.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
That's why it's in the real book you have those songs. Because then the jazz players like Joe Henderson, all those people, like, I want to improvise on top of this.
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
a lot
learn the
more.
melody.
Jesus
You know, it's like
Christ.
a long, because it's telling a story.
Yeah.
And then in the American music, when you want to tell the story, I woke up this morning. You're good? All right.
Yeah.
She was not here anymore. Right? So like that kind of thing. Or even the metal. Tell me a story, right? Like,
Yeah.
And then the Brazilian has this like
Like a ever-shifting, evolving
yeah.
thing. I really dig it.
There's a melody. I don't know. I'm not a singer.
How do you remember, like...
The song? Yeah,
There's-
I know. Yeah, I kind of know. I
Is
know
there,
some
like-
lyrics of the Brazilian music. I don't know the Iron Maiden lyrics.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then you have all the guys that like would kind of more those chords. Yeah.
Bro, my mind is blown.
You know, like this. Like. For normal people to listen.
That's insane.
If you put something in the lyrics, but then she came,
Yeah.
you know, something that
You
makes
use
sense.
the tension as like a...
You know, then you go to a place
That's how you're
not-
sneaking in this
Yeah.
harmony to...
Now, Jobinho had his song.
Flat 9 or something. Yeah, it is that, yeah.
You know,
Sit on it? Wow.
right? Possible, right? So,
Yeah.
I think it's super pop.
Yeah, you're...
Singable, like. Right?
I wouldn't call it... I think I have a different idea of pop than you.
You.
Because it's normally like... When you, it's like candy, you know?
That's the pop.
Yeah. Look, Rick Beato, do you know who that is? He'll do these analysis of like what's in the top 10 and he'll talk about the harmony. And you're getting like 3 chords.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah.
you know,
Nowadays, if people don't,
It's
they're
not the
missing
same.
like a lot of like big chunk of music. Not having. It's all about the groove and the lyrics, right?
Yeah, which can be cool, but man, the feelings you get when sometimes you use harmony,
Of
it's
course.
like...
Because you can have like. Right, you get one note and can give the different flavor.
all
for
this
thing.
like, yeah.
Right? You know? Whatever, you know.
That's awesome. You know Jacob Collier? Have you heard? Yeah, he's doing this level of dense.
Yeah. No fear, right? To put those.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking in the beginning, like, do you need? Because I think people don't know that they need that. The movement, you know, the tension.
Yeah.
Then,
I know I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm hungry for sensations,
Yeah.
and I want the music to like be giving me.
Colors.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Totally. But sometimes I like, you know, the Zen,
Yeah.
like only the fifths.
Yeah, it's like a cleanliness to it.
You know, like, oh.
I think it's when you get a balance of some of those more like Zen, and then the tensions come in, you know. But sometimes you can avoid all of the complexity and have this thing that's like, yeah, super like.
Yeah, like the Megadeth has a intro that I did, that goes you need to have that.
Yes. Nice.
That's very Villa Lobos. Villa Lobos has the finish doing now, right? The
Chromatically. Oh wow. Okay. Would you have that E? Crazy, this guitar sounds like that. It's like
cool, man. I don't know if this thing is recording. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
You're all tied up.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to you, man. What was it?